Goong actually play this mid lane Ezreal. Could go back to Twisted Fate, another champion that Coco actually carried them against Jin Air with very recently. If Coco hadn't had a good performance that game, Jin Air was definitely going to win that.
Yeah.
So maybe going for the Echo for Watch. I think Sivir is a much stronger choice, but showing the TF early may be a bit of a mistake. And there's the Rumble instead for Duke. Probably a wiser choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick the TF now, that just gives CJ way too much of an opportunity to counter it. The Maokai going to be the safer way to go. So Sivir Maokai, 2 strong pickups for Najin, and this also does make the Ezreal a little bit riskier for CJ to grab as well.
Sure, absolutely. The Sivir Maokai, good counter for that. And Duke also, Shy is not exactly going to be, I mean, I've seen Shy play Fizz, and granted it was Cinderhulk Fizz, but that was one of CJ's worst games of the season.
Yeah.
And if you're Duke, maybe you're not worried about Shy's Fizz, which is the answer that many Korean teams, even in our last set we saw, executing that lane counter pick against the Maokai and then just having the jungler camp for them to pick up kills. It's just not a lot Maokai can do against Fizz.
Well, Shy could certainly play the Rumble.
But if you're Duke, it's actually, I think for Najin, just a very safe Maokai because you don't have a guy like Marin or Someday on the enemy team who's going to bash you in. And
Whoa.
Graves.
Interesting. Wow, Graves Rumble.
So this is a big mid-game burst composition. We have been seeing more Graves, especially in Europe.
Yeah, it seemed like it never really left Europe altogether, but we have not seen it in Korea for a while.
Yes, it has been quite some time. There's been some speculation that Graves would be coming back on 5.13 a little bit as bursty 80 carries were going to be maybe coming back into play. I've seen from a few people, but we're still on 5.12, so this is... I think, you know what I think this is, Doa? I think this is just CJ playing for the mid-game against Najin and trying to have a lane bully to counteract the presence of OQ. So they're just going to put space on something that's easy to execute against the Sivir.
Seems reasonable.
And not get just bashed in the bottom lane. But Annie actually falls through. Watch is going to get his Evelyn.
All right, and so what are the last 2 picks for CJ going to be then? What do you put with this Graves? Braum would give you a very, very tanky bully lane. And I'd love to see the mid lane Misfortune, but I don't think we're going to see that.
I don't know if you actually need the Braum here.
What if it's a mid Graves?
Anything's possible.
It's going to be a weird game.
Thresh should be quite strong here. Thresh should be quite strong because you can set up picks with the Rumble and Graves burst pretty nicely.
Yeah, true.
Thinking about, we've seen mid Karma this season from Spenu. We've also seen top Karma this from Spenu. We've seen support Karma from the Coup Tigers. But the Ezreal might be the grab. Now, this is an insane burst comp.
No
kidding. And this also can assassinate a backline from the front because you have True Shot Barrage, Equalizer, and Collateral Damage all just annihilate, just pass straight through to the carries.
Oh, man, I suddenly love this comp. This is going to be very entertaining to watch in team fights. The team fights are going to be very short. We'll put it that way. Wow, and Zed locked in by Goong.
All right, so we're back to that apparently. This is where Goong is going today. He feels confident in playing against the Ezreal. And Ezreal, with this Runeglaive, he just can't take heal or barrier, any of the things that help him against Zed.
Yeah, very true. He just got to stay out of the way.
And you know this is a risk when you play against Goong, but we haven't seen a whole lot of Zed since the nerfs. Goong has played it, though, as has Mickey.
And I mean, if anything, Goong is going to be very comfortable on an Assassinate again.
I don't know about this, because the main concern here with the Zed is now that there is that cooldown on returning to his shadow after he ults in. If he ults in, the amount of burst that Coco and Graves can kill him before he can escape, for sure. So this is a bit risky. They will have a strong 4-1 split, and Shy is going to have a difficult time itemizing because he is going to be dealing with magic damage in lane, but then a split pushing Zed in the mid game So how is he going to build this Rumble? He needs both Abyssal and Zonia, as one would presume.
Would you maybe just lane swap and go for armor right away?
But there's no guarantee because eventually you're going to have to swap it. You will be laning against the Maokai at a certain point, so getting armor right away may be kind of inefficient.
Well, we will see who can handle it. A playoff battle begins. CJ versus NAJIN, game number 1. Let's get in the game. And welcome to Summoner's Rift. CJ ENTUS versus NAJIN MFIRE. And as we talked about earlier, very, very realistically, a playoff spot could be on the line right now between these two teams. It is a very, very tight race.
And therefore a world spot, too. Now,
Yep.
likely with the way the playoffs are stacking up right now and CJ finishing in 3rd place last season, they have at least enough circuit points to get in the gauntlet under most normal circumstances. So even if they don't make playoffs, they will still have a shot, albeit a long one, to make the World Championships. But NAJIN, they were on the outside looking in at the playoffs last time, so they must go to the playoffs if they want to get anywhere close to Worlds.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. NAJIN, I feel like, has certainly made some strides this season as opposed to last season, but of late, looking a bit weak.
Well, and you have to wonder, too, because Armor, basically, once the Thornmails come in, well, there's only going to be one Thornmail, I suppose, onto Ambition in the very late game. But once the Armor comes in for CJ, there are not very many options for NAJIN to actually deal damage.
I mean, you just go Thornmail Graves and dual OQ. There you go.
You got it.
Got the plan. That's right. It'll be interesting to see how this lane turns out. We'll see if Gung is able to get some sort of all-in going around level 6 or something.
So OQ coming back late here from the Gromp camp, helping out. And like you said, we will have the 2v2 in this one. Not sure exactly what Gung thinks he's going to do. And
wow, look at Space being aggressive. Don't see that every day.
well,
but with that Graves,
I mean,
you can be...
yes, Sivir doesn't have Spell Shield yet, so you could just walk up and buckshot her in the face.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly a bit of a bully lane. A lot of tankiness. The trades are going to certainly go in CJ's favor early on.
And there we see, of course, this Mike coming down early for Coco, so just going to maintain control of this. Now, most teams think that the way to control the Ezreal is just to put him against a wave clear mage early and just force him back into his tower so that he loses some CS and that you can get an advantage on the map. But I'm not sure that's going to really be able to work here. I'm not very confident in NAJIN's composition with this Zed, but I have also seen times where Gung just goes off on Zed and it doesn't matter because he has like 8 kills.
Yeah, it seems very dangerous to underestimate Gung's Zed. We've seen some pretty good games in the past from that. And Mad Life just zoning with that Q. Pretty effective tool for that.
And NAJIN also has a very all-in composition. Everybody is going to be in the front line attempting to do something. And if Gung can just be patient while the rest of his team engages with the Sivir, maybe they can blow enough cooldowns that he has a bit of an easier time getting a flank onto the squishy carries, or if they simply use their cooldowns in a way that they no longer have an opportunity to burst him, it'd be quite effective. Of course, these are not Runeglaive stats from Coco. These are AD Ezreal stats from Spring, by the way.
Yep, not as applicable. But Gung's stats still frightening either way.
So here we go.
Oh, yeah, a gank coming in onto Coco. He could be in a little bit of trouble here. He has no idea.
He's got a backup. His jungler's there, but he doesn't know there are 2 people here.
Yeah, that's right. Coco trying to get away immediately with the flash, getting very, very low. Ambition coming in, and Mad Life, or Pure rather, grabs that first blood.
So that
I
was...
just wanted to be Mad Life, I guess.
It was a nice gank, but, you know, without Annie in that bottom lane, you have to have a bit of worry that that's going to happen because they need this Zed to get rolling. and they know they want to shut down the Ezreal. Fortunately for CJ, Zed doesn't actually get the kill, and he was the one who used the Ignite too, so that does relieve a bit of pressure from the lane.
Yeah.
And Coco's going to be forced to go for an arm guard first instead of actually building directly into Runeglaive. So that's going to slow this Ezreal down even more. And it affects his wave clear because he doesn't have that Ranger's Trailblazer for the AoE Smite. So this could open up Goong to some pretty fancy roaming in the early game.
Either way, at least no flash is burned on the side of CJ to get away from that. Flash used by Watch in that case.
Oh,
Watch getting caught and no flash. Turns out that's pretty important as he's going to get taken out. Ambish with a kill there. The exhaust onto Goong now. He's in a bit of trouble. Tries to flash away, but now no escape. Here comes Space, who gets the kill. Looks like it's going to go to Coco. They want to even up that mid lane.
Just handing it to Coco right there. And that was such a dangerous face check from Watch. So greedy, not even... Both teams not even thinking about where the enemy support could be in these situations. First, we see Najin getting the roam off with Pure, and then Bad Life had recalled, and certainly he could be walking into mid to ward right now, because especially when you're playing against an Evelynn, you have to assume that the support is also potentially going to be dropping a pink ward around the mid lane so you can get full coverage for Coco.
Right. Oh, shot barrage. Oh, did he get the wolves? I didn't see if he got it.
No, he didn't.
Would have been cool.
Style points for the Evelynn ward. Although, the downside is that now you have let Evelynn know that there is a ward there in case Watch didn't know that already.
It's true.
So that's something he can play around in the future. And now the safe timing to go in for Watch when there is, in fact, not a mid laner in mid lane.
Coco got his Seeker's Arm Guard extremely quickly because of that kill. And so he shouldn't be actually slowed down all that much, I guess.
And Goong also went for a Vamp Scepter first, so he doesn't have any armor penetration. That is just sustaining for the moment, just trying to deal with the poke, but that's going to let Coco stack that Arm Guard with relative impunity.
Well, the mid lane battle continues, and Space's roam up to help out with that kill, too, is really nice.
Yep, now he has a BF sword instead of the pickaxe, and that's huge.
Yep. Lane going very well for him so far, despite being down a little bit in CS, but the assist should make up for that.
Well, he's got an extra wave, too, so he'll be up in CS by the time everything settles down.
True enough.
Shot barrage going through, and there's a blue buff for Goong.
A blue buff for Goong. This fall on the Hallmark Channel.
Buffs for Goong.
That's right.
Well, that would probably be an assassin patch, realistically.
Yeah. You don't want to buff Goong at this point, because that would mean all the assassins would come back.
I'm okay with that.
Which is fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, but Goong's opponents would not like that.
Well, next patch, though, it's going to be about the slow burn. It's actually like the GBM patch. It's kind of funny.
Oh, boy. They just want to get this guy to Worlds,
Leandry's on and Rylai's on everybody.
Well, GBM's wanted to go to Worlds for a long time, so there we go. Here's the chance now. Oh, a little bit of trading going in, but Space immediately just walks right back up and does more damage to OQ.
Really tough situation for OQ. He's handling it pretty well, actually, going even in this lane to this juncture.
Hasn't died yet, which is nice. So he's got that going for him.
Wow, so very passive build. Avarice Blade will be the buy on the recall, so he's pretty much just given up on winning this lane. And instead, just going to try and farm as best as he can and get a little more money in the process.
I feel like this is exactly what CJ wants, though. You know, they want Najin to come into a pretty weak mid game.
I agree, and CJ's set up for that. And even Zed is going to take a while to get going.
Yeah. Well, especially, again, you know, with that Vamp Scepter start.
So they're really, I think, just going to be looking for the split push with the Zed, if they can get it. If Najin can execute that to a degree where they get a couple of towers, maybe they can do something. But the exhaust on CJ going to be reserved for Goong Zed because there's not really another good target for it. And again, there's so much burst out of CJ that any pick that CJ makes is going to be devastating in the mid-game.
Yeah, well, nice dodging for space. They're trying to bait them in. Pure gets a stun on a Mad Life. Watches there, but doesn't look like they're going to go in on that. They use the Sivir ult even.
Yeah, just a little bit scared, but no summoners even used by CJ on that level 6. They could try again right now.
Oh, there's a ward. He's going to see the pink ward, but
where's
watch.
the Evelyn?
Oh, I was going to say, that watch was right there.
No, he backed out of that.
Oh, Mad Life does not know he's playing as dangerously as he is right there.
Well, he is quite tanky, and he does have a Rumble with Equalizer ready to teleport to him.
That does help.
Should he need that level of assistance?
Yeah, Shy doing just fine up in this top lane. A little bit down on CS, but not the biggest deal. So far, the Finger's holding up.
Looks like the Finger's doing fine this game.
It's been an injury-filled year apparently between Tucson and, or what rather, Wisdom and Pickaboo and
just the other
Sassen and Shy and
yeah, a lot of the other regions too. We haven't really had this many injuries before.
Yeah.
Of course, High from Cloud9 having some issues with his wrist.
Right.
Yeah, it's been it's not been a good year for injuries and LoL.
Time to do those wrist exercises between solo queue games, guys.
Yeah, you actually should do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Equalizer used to push through the wave. Shy doing a bit of damage to Duke up here. Yeah, really, your wrist feels so much better if you do that consistently, too.
Yeah, it's very important so you don't end up with fun, lifelong injuries.
Take it from a guy that had a ton of wrist pain like 4 years ago. And I just, changed my posture and did exercise, and it completely went away.
Wow.
Haven't had it since, yeah.
Lucky you.
And it was, really bad for a year or so. So do them. Look them up online and do them. Do them right now. You don't need to wait.
You don't. You can do them while you to multitask.
Do wrist exercises while you watch Champions.
But thank you, Dr. Doa.
You're welcome. Dr. Doe is here to prescribe video games and wrist exercises to support more video game play.
Truly ruining the youth of today, Doa.
That's right. Just like rock and roll music and pool.
Pool?
Yeah. Back in the 30s, pool halls.
Oh, yeah.
Not like swimming pools, like billiards.
Did billiards ruin the youth of the 30s?
Clearly.
I thought that was more like prohibition alcohol.
Maybe. Oh, meanwhile, Mad Life a little bit caught here, trying to get away. Uses that Braum ultimate, gets a knockup. Space trying to do some damage on the way out. Tippers is chasing. Run. Wow, makes it out just barely.
Yep, not even Summoner Heal having to be used by Space.
No.
I suppose Prohibition was more the 20s, by the way.
Oh, was it? Okay. Sounds good. I wasn't alive then, so.
Doa's knowledge of American history, everybody.
I don't know. We can drink now, so it's all good. So do those wrist exercises. Well, looks like blue buff's going to be handed off to Zed. A little bit of CDR.
Did Zed get it, or did Eve take it?
I think Zed got it.
Oh, I didn't see.
Pretty sure. Monty's knowledge of who got the blue buff, everybody. See, look, it's Zed.
I didn't see it on the quick. I was looking at something else on the screen.
Oh, sure.
Jeez.
Okay.
You were looking at something else for your entirety of American history.
Hey,
Boom!
I'm sure I remembered that at one point. Oh, flash stun onto Coco. There's a death mark, and he is probably not going to live. Oh, never mind. Yep, Goon goes in for the kill.
Mad Life there, but he just can't protect him in the end. Goong actually surviving with just a small amount of health. Mad Life wasn't there in time to actually get the exhaust off, and now Pure.
What you doing, buddy?
He's trying to find Ambition. Ambition is lurking in the jungle.
Ambition's like, is there a ward on me?
He's waiting to shoot.
Oh! Comes in, gets a knockup. Pure in a little bit of trouble, but turret damage coming. Oh, here's Mad Life. He missed a Q.
No, he hit the Q. Oh, no, he didn't.
Mad Life?
No,
he missed the Q, yeah.
Yeah, definitely didn't hit the Q.
Monty's observation, people being hit by Qs, everybody. Look out, you're on camera. Whoa, that was a ult from Space. No, actually it was an ult from Graves, who's also named Space.
An ult from Space.
It looked like it was an ult from Space, the way it just kind of randomly came in there. Nice try.
That was actually quite clever by Ambition. Nice attempt, but no dice this time. So Runeglade finally finished for Coco. The delays to his build, are they over? Is Goong enough ahead? Stay tuned for more Champion Summer.
Wow. People would be really mad if we took a commercial break right now. Got to make those monies. Oh, the battle to take the ward, and it's not going to go well for Mad Life. With Watch right there, this could be very dangerous. They're going to pop the Sivrald. Don't really know what direction they want to go, though, I guess. They just know they wanted to ult. All right, Mad Life
ult
just walks
party!
out. Press R!
Just run around in a circle.
Yeah.
It's running around in a circle is much better when you can do it very quickly.
Press R for run. That's 4. Well, that was anticlimactic.
So, Coco's nice and bottled up right now, even though he has that blue buff. And what is this Zed going to do? He's got to be able to make a play. In spite of the Maokai to Rumble matchup, we've seen no ganks in the top side. And Shy getting pretty strong, and CJ...
Well, there we go. Knock up onto Goon. Could be in a little bit of trouble. Tries to go in for the death mark onto Coco, but it's not enough damage. Coco lives through that one. That's a kill for Ambition.
Yep, just getting there nice and early, and the armor doing its work right now. Even though the Hex Drinker was popped to delay some of the damage from Coco, Ambition smartly just goes, there we go, gets the smite down, and then the last hit.
Yep, a little bit down on CS, so the kills, the assists, the smiting of the jungle camp certainly helping Coco keep up in gold.
Yep, Watch is waiting right here to make sure that none of this CS goes to waste while Ambition takes care of some of the mid lane wards. Mad Life on a deep warding mission at the same time after they see Evelynn, so really thorough warding of the Najin jungle. This is something that was really lacking in their games against KT Rolster.
Yeah, that's true.
When Ambition did not have such a good day in the jungle.
Yeah, certainly looking better today on this Rek'Sai.
And CJ's ahead. They are in a very good place in spite of all of Najin's focus on the mid lane. Zed hasn't really been able to move out anywhere and try and take control or snowball another lane with the Zed. They haven't gotten a tower down yet, and so they're just kind of waiting it out. But as Zed gets strong, by the time Zed gets where Zed needs to be, we may see Coco getting close to a Luden's Echo or something that is going to be very effective. And they're going to be able to build QSS or Zonias on Shy and Space and Coco. And that means that there are no ult targets for Zed in the late game. Just absolutely none.
Yeah.
Don't want to ult a Braum. Don't want to ult a Rek'Sai. That's rather pointless. Oh, is this going to be the second time this happens today?
Apparently, but there's no vision this time for the enemy
there's a
team.
ward. They saw the tunnel go in.
Oh.
So will Goong strike?
Oh yeah, they saw the tunnel going in, I see. Nope, doesn't look like it. CJ gets an easy first drag, and Ambition just takes it by himself. Not bad. Yeah, and Coco, obviously, the wave clear getting much, much better for him now.
Well, the Zed has to do something soon. The Zed doesn't do something soon and start to create a really big lead, then it's probably just going to be lights out because CJ, their siege is going to be very strong. They can just bully you off of turrets by using the 3 ults on Ezreal, Graves, and Rumble and just take towers for free after that because Najin is not going to be able to withstand that level of poke and stay on an objective.
Yeah, I mean, really, Maokai, the only tanky member of Najin. Ambition, he should be okay. Yep, just takes the tunnel.
He has Ambition tunnels in reserve.
That's right.
Oh,
Mad
Pure.
Life. Ult onto Pure. Oku getting very low as well, too, via Space. There's the ult. Mad Life takes the kill from Space. Oh, well.
Wow, just splitting him up and turning that around very easily. Mad Life walks forward in the lane, gets the initiation, and considering that the Rek'Sai was still there and waiting, we're going to try and force them off the tower right now. So CJ well on their way this game.
And sure enough, looks like they should be able to get the bottom turret as well.
Yeah, very easily, in fact.
Whoa. Meanwhile, Watch gets found, and Mad Life's going to come in there as well. They're going to get the stun from the passive. Watch in a lot of trouble. True shot barrage goes way wide. I don't think they thought about that stun. Duke teleporting down there. Yeah, Goom trying to find an opportunity to go in. Mad Life very, very low. Space unloading onto Duke, but he's so tanky already. Mad Life somehow escapes for the moment anyway.
Yeah, managed to get the Braum stun down and then flash over the wall. So both TPs used, but turret goes down. CJ gets the kill, and nothing at all happens for NAJIN MFIRE.
Yeah, Goong just could not find an angle to get in, and the fact that he's already struggling like that is really worrisome for the late game for NAJIN.
Yes, indeed it is. So Space already sitting on that Infinity Edge. He is much stronger than OQ at this point in time.
Yeah.
So OQ trying to catch up. The sustained damage will be better in the late game.
Yeah, but
So Najin still has a chance. You know,
you just think about what happens when this becomes a 5v5 fight. CJ unloads all their ultimates into Najin. Najin takes a ton of damage, and then they really can't fight. They can't defend turrets, and they can't fight. I
mean, I really like this composition from CJ because you have the Graves and the Rumble to get your Ezreal into the late game.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You have the AD burst, so there's not an efficient way for them to itemize against it compared to a Corki. Obviously, the Corki has more frequent poke, but the Graves poke is devastating if you issue an entire combo. And Graves has the smoke screen, so he provides some peel, actually, for the team. And he can really shut down flanks or choke points.
Well, they want to catch Mad Life here, but they're not going to be able to. Nope.
Now, the problem with Graves is he's very low range, so you have Maokai and Annie to deal with in that regard.
Yeah. But if they have to end up using things on, say, a Rek'Sai coming in, that allows Space a chance to get close enough. Mad Life as well, I suppose, can be a bit of a front line.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and Shy getting his Zonias very quickly, so he can even contribute a bit in that regard himself.
Yeah, I think that the fast Zonias here I'm surprised he didn't have to itemize for a little bit of MR against Maokai, but apparently he's making it work. And considering that he knows that the only timing that this Zed is going to have is that you get the split push off, but Zonia's already finished for Coco too, which means that as long as nobody gets armor anytime soon, Space can actually third item at QSS.
Wow.
And then that's it. There is no winning for this Zed anymore, unless CJ makes a massive mechanical misplay.
Well, they're going after this tier 1, and no one's really there to support Goong, so they're going to lose it. Pure looking for an ult here.
Watch.
Mad Life zoning Watch very, very nicely. Finds him. That passive stun is going to be trouble. There comes a burst. Space with a kill there. Two-man Tibbers stun, but no follow-up for Najin. Goong coming in. Death mark onto Space. He could be in a lot of trouble. There's the exhaust. Doesn't matter. Space goes down anyway. Goong gets a kill, but gets taken out by Ambition. Now OQ in a lot of trouble. Can't get the kill on Mad Life before Coco takes him down. And that is 4 for 1 in favor of CJ and that turret as well.
And that was actually a big misplay from Watch. So what happened was he actually hit his W before the slow landed from Braum, before the Winter's Bite hit. So he wasn't able to clear that ability anymore, which led to the rest of CJ being able to catch up to him in that engagement. And then we just see the power of the exhaust against the Zed this early. There's not a way to clear it, and the burst was just massive.
Oh, yeah. OQ is blown up so fast.
Yeah, watch this.
Fight.
So Watch used his W early, which means that, nope, everybody's on top of him immediately. And even though there was a two-man Tibbers on his basic Coco, great Tibbers from Pure, it's just they can't do anything. The Zonias goes down for Coco. Sure, they kill Space, but just waits it out, and then they have enough follow-up crowd control in the skirmish between Braum and Rek'Sai to easily allow those carries to continue to unload their DPS.
Good focusing of targets by CJ as well, too. They didn't get distracted at all by OQ coming in. And
well fought, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what CJ does. They fight really well in the mid-game and late game, and it's certainly paying off for them against Najin so far. Dragging up in a few seconds.
Hope is probably dead for Najin now.
That's going to be tough.
Coming at 23 minutes, you're 5,000 gold behind.
Oh, Coco going for very fast Zonias as well, too.
Yeah, I was talking about that. The double Zonias. And if Space can go for a QSS, depending on how Duke builds.
Nope, Sun on Ambition, he could be in a little bit of trouble here. Goon going in. Wow, Death Mark on Ambition, that was a bit overly bold. But here comes the rest of Najin, so they might have a chance here. Duke going deep, but Mad Life zoning quite well. The stuns from Braum are helping so much in Space. Picks up a kill with the ultimate. True Shot Barrage comes through, doesn't hit anyone. But Ezreal can do a lot more damage. That great equalizer. Double kill for Space. It's going to be a double kill for Coco as well. Make that an ace as Ambition picks up the last one. A perfect ace for CJ, and they're going to grab the dragon as well. Welcome to Stomp Town.
And remember, Coco and Shy were not even there for the start of the fight.
Yeah.
Goong tries to ult the Rek'Sai. The Rek'Sai already has Randu and Zoman. He knows there are no more targets.
That was also a fight where I don't believe True Shot Barrage actually hit anybody.
No, it did not.
So even when you They didn't even
Watch
have that
this.
big damage from
So
Barrage.
they think it's going to be, because Duke was there, this 4-on-3, basically. But there's so much tankiness from CJ, and Space is able to kite because they keep going into the choke. True Shot Barrage totally misses.
Whoa, he anticipated the move from Zed, too.
Wow.
With that Mystic shot.
That was
Coco.
beautiful.
Oh, man. What a beautiful fight from CJ. You know, a lot of teams are good at team fighting, but I've always loved watching CJ.
Yeah, that's definitely one of their strengths. When you get so many veteran players together on
Yeah.
one team that have been through so many different games of League of Legends, especially people like Ambition and Shy and Mad Life who have been around forever.
Yeah.
They know how to make this work, and
You
CJ looking quite dominant here.
It's hard to find a team as in sync as CJ is in team fights. Well, Space just moving up to the top lane. They want to finish off the last of the outer turrets of Najin here, but a trap has been set. Oh, but they figured out.
So if oh wow.
Oh, wow. Ambition getting caught completely, though. Got to get out of there. Duke coming in with Goong as well. Coco laying down some damage. Needs a True Shot Barrage. Doesn't have the cooldown, and they're going to just pick off Ambition. Whoops.
Well, Ambition going on those solo warding missions that he likes to die for frequently.
Dangers of warding.
Dangers of warding alone when you don't have vision.
Yeah,
An Ambition jungle story.
sure enough. Coco's almost got that Luden's Echo now as well, too, so that'll be a nice little boost in damage.
Well, they managed to delay the Ezreal build pretty
Yeah.
significantly by getting him that Zhonya's Hourglass first, but not probably going to matter too much at this point. There we go. Just another True Shot Barrage coming through on some wave clear, and now Mad Life setting up around this Baron, and here comes the Void Rush for Baron time.
And are they actually just going to
Yeah.
start this?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, with Sivir all the way down to the bot lane, the damage is certainly
They
not
have
as
TP.
much.
Sivir's not there. They just definitely do it.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see if Maokai can do anything with side. CJ actually turning around. They're a little bit scared. Oh, they saw Sivir coming over. I don't know. They might have been able to finish it, but
Oki
better
didn't
safe
even
than
have.
sorry. I
Oki
guess.
didn't even have ults.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of
So
confused about.
They do want to run a more pick or burst style, so getting all into the Baron pit could be.
I mean, if you think about the CJ comp, like, do they vitally need Baron right now? No, not really.
No, they can still siege without it. That's
Yeah.
very true.
So why take the risk? Yeah, smart move to back off there.
Oh, we may be going for it again.
I think so. Now they take the turret, and now they've got a lot of nice vision in the top jungle of Najin. Can approach that Baron maybe a little bit more safely. OQ taking the Wolves on his way out, but yeah, CJ just all over Najin right now. Interesting ward from Najin. That's not going to be one that CJ finds anytime soon.
No, it's the secret ward. Sometimes you got to put those weird wards in weird places. Actually, they delayed a recall onto Duke.
Wow.
That's just annoying.
Yeah.
Watch setting up for a flank. This is actually good. This is very, very good.
Teleport coming in. Nice ult by Eve. She manages back out. Tippers comes down. Space in a lot of trouble here. Tries to cleanse. Gets killed anyway. Duke trying to back off now as well. Nice equalizer comes down. Can CJ turn this one around? I don't think so. Double kill for OQ coming in now. Shy in a little bit of trouble. He's tanky, but they need more than that right now. And Zonya's. There we go. Goong with the kill. And now OQ on the run. Ambition wants to take him out.
Oh,
Can he do
the
it?
spell
Ambition
shield.
gets the kill in the end, but he'll be taken out eventually. Oh, wow. There's the ace.
That was a great setup from Najin, honestly. They did
Yeah.
not expect Watch to be able to get into position behind them. So the flank on these very squishy carries means that finally Najin can approach them without getting poked out or bursted first. And they cause a lot of commotion, and that gets them a pretty nice team fight win. You can see Ambition's face after that. Wasn't too pleased with it. But that's what happens when you don't ward your flanks, kids.
I guess so.
Great ult by Watch.
Yeah, Watch
Hitting
sneaking
three
in behind
people.
there.
OQ actually eats the exhaust from Mad Life. So by the time Goon gets there, there's no more exhaust, even though he ults Coco during Zonya's. And Shy does what he can to get a nice equalizer to save his teammate. But once those burst damage dealers are down, there's really nothing else they can do.
Pretty much. Yeah, good fight for Najin. And CJ will need to be a little bit more careful here.
Well, there's still no Aegis against the Ezreal. A choice I always find interesting.
Yep. Why would you get Aegis against AD, Monte Cristo?
Ezreal's AD, right?
Yeah. Sure. Runeglaive doesn't change.
Watch just like, every man for himself, I'm getting Cowl.
Love it, the selfish jungling. Well, CJ going on another warding mission, but NAJIN has a pretty good idea of where they are. They're going to take the blue buff, though. Not the biggest deal.
You see Goong playing the long game here.
Yep.
Wanting to come through. But there's so many CJ wards now.
Oh, Flash Tibber is really, really nice. Mad Life in a little bit of trouble. True Shot Barrage in the middle, but is it enough
Holy
damage?
cow,
Space,
that equalizer.
no kidding. Yeah, Space doing a lot of damage here. Finally gets taken out by Goong, but Coco untouched in this fight so far. Mad Life has to stay on the outside. They're going to trade fairly evenly. NAJIN getting a bit of an edge, but CJ chasing. That's a lot of damage coming from Shy. And Duke comes back in to sacrifice his life for his team. Coco, though, wants the kill onto OQ, and he's going to get it. A little bit of a close call there, but Coco comes out ahead.
You just can't walk into the choke. Even though they managed to get on top of Space, they used so much crowd control to do it because Space just built QSS as his third item, as I thought he might.
Yeah.
And so we had the Maokai going very, very deep, but Shy just cut off the rest of the team with the equalizer on the ramp. And Coco was just absolutely free dealing damage that entire team fight. So they chase him off, get 4 kills, and grab the dragon. Take a look at this. I mean, they try and catch Space, but Space just uses the QSS and flashes, and no one can get through that choke point right now. Goong is not going anywhere. Then Shy Zonia's with the Flame Spitter right as the equalizer was going down.
That's a
Shy played that
right there.
beautifully
Yeah.
to maximize the amount of time that Coco would have to just be unharmed on the outside.
And Duke thinks he can sacrifice his life for OQ there, but Coco just arcane shifts over the top. Boop. Should be fine. There we go.
It's the Luden's proc, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's always satisfying when you get the Luden's proc.
Feels good, man. Now Coco going to grab that blue buff. He's got an extra needlessly large rod now as well, too, so the damage continues to mount for CJ. Oh, trying to catch Watch. Nice Q from Mad Life. Wow, what a catch. Getting that slow from the Q.
Watch is really misusing his W this game.
Yeah, he tried to use it to get away again and then got hit with the slow.
It's time to hide in the pit and maybe do the Baron. Ward is there. They should see that ward.
This is still a dangerous Baron for CJ. Pure has Tibbers. They're going to try to come in.
Here
Duke
comes
has
Duke.
ultimate. Zoning equalizer. Pure comes in to try to do something. Goong. Coco's just Zonia's that death mark. Goong gets exhausted immediately. Mad Life low, but Goong can't even get that kill. Oh, actually. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, now CJ just turns. There goes Pure. Shy taking that one out. Coco continuing to poke people to death. Ambition with another kill. Now they'll just casually turn and finish Baron. A double kill for Ambition at the end of that one.
Nice try, but again, a 4v5 coming into the pit. You're dealing with so much damage, and Coco and Mad Life really tag teamed on the Zonias and the exhaust to make sure that Goong did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. A really good game so far from Ambition. 8-4 and 10 on that. Rek'Sai.
Yeah, there were some hiccups.
Yeah, but he's making it count in the team fights at least.
Poop.
Poop. I don't
That's
know
right.
if
That's
quite the
what
term for
that. Yeah, it is. That's the term you use for the Ludens, even though there wasn't a Ludens right there.
That's what people say when they get hit by a Runeglaive, True Shot Barrage.
Well, Space goes down in the back of the pit, but again, Coco is just sitting there doing boatloads of damage in the end. Yep. Duke goes on a Mad Life killing mission, but that is unsuccessful. Yeah, I mean, Ludens, yeah, it's a boop. You know, it's. I said it was satisfying to get the Ludens proc. It's satisfying because you know it does damage. It's certainly not satisfying when you look at it because it kind of just like spits some purple drops.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they really need to change the animation for Ludens because it just doesn't look very cool at all.
It's the Prince Purple Rain item.
I guess so. Nice spell shield from OQ to avoid the damage from that True Shot Barrage. Uh-oh, Goong.
Goong's been
There's
found.
A ward. He's going to try to get away here. Ambition chasing.
Ooh,
They'll
he had
let
to
him
use
go.
his Ghost Blade and his Blade actives there.
Both blades.
Too many blades.
Too many blades. Classic League of Legends problem. Oh, he's back.
Flank wards are great.
He's like, there's no
Look
ward
at
this
they have
brush.
2 pink wards behind them for Evelyn.
Oh, well, Tibbers tried to engage Space in a little bit of trouble. Gets the cleanse. Gets taken out, though. Goong very, very low. Coco doing tons of damage. Space still the only victim. He's been dying a lot, but CJ's been able to clean up. They took out Goong. Shy trying to dodge watch. Oh, a double kill for Coco during all that.
I mean, it doesn't matter how many times Space dies.
Not really. And watch a little bit of trouble. There we go. Triple kill for Coco.
I mean, they try it all in on Space every time. He takes.
Oh, wow. Better back to Fountain. Yeah,
There's like, well,
go back there.
Time to go.
I didn't go very far to begin with, at least. And there goes the inhibitor turret. There goes the inhibitor. Shy just teleporting right back into the action. Don't know if he really needed to, but why not? Well.
But yeah, they can keep killing Space, but Space is actually playing this well. He's using his QSS and then absorbing all of the cooldowns.
Yeah, he's just
and then they try and turn on Coco. Coco's Zonias, and then he's back. He just ends the fight at 50% to full HP every time.
Well, all Space has to do is just walk up, buckshot, ultimate, and that's it. His job is done in the team fight.
Yep.
Oh, okay, got a few at the end.
Uh-oh, here comes Goong. He's hunting Ezreals. There are no Ezreals.
No.
Ezreal has empowered recall. You cannot catch him that quickly.
Yep. Thornmail onto Ambition now, as we talked about earlier. Things are getting harder and harder. Well, what do you do? CJ looking to kind of steamroll to victory at this point.
Yep, just going to head to the top side now, take out the remaining inhibitors. They don't have Baron buff anymore, so I guess NAJIN has their final chance right here. They also don't have flank wards for the first time.
It could be a bit dangerous, but two-shot barrage takes a big chunk out of OQ, and that's going to cost them an inhibitor turret at least. Probably just the inhibitor, too. Yep. They will get it. OQ pops that ultimate. They want to go in on this one. Watch gets a nice ult as well, but oh man. Equalizer comes down, and that gives CJ a really nice position to approach this fight. Duke already chunked down after being so tanky. Watch is taken out by Coco. Bramalt catches him. Another double kill for Coco. Huge game. Zonia's to avoid the death from
Goong wants a kill. There's the
OQ.
death mark. Goodbye before the exhaust can come down.
But Space wants a bit of revenge. Goong's killed him too many times this game. Oh, he's going to get away anyway, though. I guess CJ can't quite end it yet. They finally took out Coco.
They got the Coco.
Yep, he's only 11-4-11. Getting the double-double on that Ezreal. Someday people will realize that it's just good to ban Ezreal right now.
Or have a more concrete plan on how to deal with him, because...
Well, until you do, just ban the Ezreal.
Oh, the baits that are not going to work because there is a ward.
Oh, well.
This might be bad. They are all at 50% HP.
Tippers is not up, though, so Pure has to get in range for a W. They're going to catch Ambition. Space is going to be okay, though. Ambition is actually going to be okay as well. Wow. I think they can give up that dragon. Yeah.
Only the first one of the game. Watch. Back defending the base. A little bit greedy from CJ. They tried to bait it, but there was already a ward that they were a little bit late to remove from the game. Shy has been amazing this game, by the way. I just keep watching Shy in these team fights, and he just is peeling for his carries just with the damage from Rumble extremely well.
Well, it looked like that last fight. You know, NAJIN wanted to go in, and Equalizer came down and basically just split off the team from the rest of NAJIN.
And he was also standing on top of both Coco and Space with Flame Spitter on. He was just playing defense, basically. You had to get past him. So
works well. Funny thing is, Ambition had his sweeping lens up during that last dragon. He could have just swept it. Wah wah. Ruby Sightstone now. Gotta get those flank wards down. Meanwhile, Void Staff picked up for Coco. Wasn't doing enough damage yet. Gonna be able to cut through Duke very quickly. Oh, nice arcane shift. Noob.
You say that to Coco, who's at 11-4 and 11 Ezreal.
Yeah, but
professional game.
He couldn't arcane shift over that wall, so
you must be better.
Deserves a criticism.
All right.
Now they're going to try to engage as well. CJ's cutting back, gets caught with Tibbers though. Mad Life in the back lines though. The tank's doing what they need to do in space. For once, not quite dead yet. There's Zonia's for Shy, again creating that flame spitter wall. Mad Life gets caught though with another stun. OQ doing a lot of damage. And NAJIN turning this one around a bit.
Yes, but what are they going to lose? I mean, there wasn't a lot of super minions there yet, but CJ may just be happy. Oh, they're not going to go for anything. Just going to back off.
Yeah.
Too many home guard enchantments, making them scared. It's a good ult by Pure. Pure's actually had some pretty good ults this game, but with the amount of stasis and PL, you can see again there, Space using his QSS, and Shy turning this around, gets the defensive equalizer just so that Space and Coco have some room to poke, but Najin is able to disengage pretty quickly and then take out Mad Life.
Yeah, Pure did a great job in that fight. Built up his stun again so he could get another multi-man stun with the W towards the end. Led to Mad Life being picked off.
Uh-oh. Najin was about to get a second turret this game.
No way.
40 minutes in.
Baron's up as well,
completely stalled out with this split push. I mean, it was a risky composition.
Yeah.
It could have come up big, it's true. And they tried to get the Zed fed. If the Zed got fed, Goong absolutely could have just destroyed this game, and we could have seen something very one-sided in the opposite direction. But that's a lot of eggs to put in the Goong basket.
Now you've got 6-item Runeglaive Ezreal, so good luck. Well, CJ just content to bait this Baron now. Or maybe take it. Who knows? Yeah, just take it. Najin coming in, though. A lot of damage onto the Nexus turrets right now, too, coming in from CJ.
All CJ has to do is just sit here and stall.
Yeah. They're so tanky. Well, Watch comes in. They're going to try to make something happen. Nice knock up from Ambition, keeping them from getting it too far. Whoa, that's a lot of AoE, though. Exhaust onto Goong, trying to get a kill here. Duke very low. Barely dodges that Mystic shot.
Wow, Duke.
Amazingly, nobody died there.
The Summoner heal actually saved Duke to get him out of range.
Yeah.
Of that last Mystic shot. CJ can't quite take the Baron, but Najin actually hanging in there. Here comes Void Rush and TP.
Oh, they're going to go after Goong here. Whoa.
What? Space?
All right, Space just decided to die, apparently. Watch is right there, though. Ambition going really deep. Gets a knock up onto Goong. Where's the follow-up, though? They need Coco to come up big here. He does. He gets a kill onto OQ. Double kill. Another one for Coco. He didn't have enough, apparently, yet. Make it a triple, his second of the game so far. Man, OQ's having a huge game. Goong, the true ninja, slips out unseen.
He's like, screw this, guys. Well, there was a celebratory barrage.
Well, he thought he could maybe catch a Goong with a recall. He kind of tried to estimate it there, I guess.
Last super minion in the
should
base.
do it.
Well, I don't know if CJ's actually going to go for the win right here. Goong has GA, so they should back out. The safe way to play this is back out, go for the Baron.
Yep.
Don't chance it. Yeah.
More wards. Wards everywhere, and taking out some of their opponents' wards as well. Coco kind of low. Duke can be annoying.
Can he?
I don't know. I mean, Coco's very vulnerable against Goong right now.
Well,
I guess he's got his Zonias, though, so he's a little bit less vulnerable.
Yeah, well, he might be able just to bait Goong into this.
I'll see. Righteous Glory used. CJ not phased. They're going to keep going for that Baron. And no jungler. Here comes Space. He's back just in time, and there's CJ with the Baron on all 5 members of the team. Now they can recall. True Shot Barrage will clear out some of these minions. May not save the turret, though.
Yep, should actually, with the next blue minion wave coming in, and Space zipping over there on his home guard boots. There is an Aegis onto Ambition. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it'll be useful once it's a Locket, but it's not really helpful at the moment.
I think Locket is what you're going for here.
Yeah, Locket is definitely helpful again to survive against Zed.
Either that or Banner of Command.
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah.
If it was a banner, that would also be good, because Najin doesn't have. I mean, they have decent ways actually. They have Boomerang Blade and they have Razor Shuriken, so they may be able to clear it.
That's true. I suppose the 80 damage is enough where the Banner of Command minions aren't too strong. Well, another Dragon's up. Looks like CJ is going to get their 4th without any issues. They will. And so now on that 5th Dragon bubble as well, they've got the Baron. They're going to move in to try to take this bottom inhibitor.
Yep, just stack up. They have a big wave of minions, but they don't have any actual champions there that can deal damage to the turret yet. But
Don't need it, I guess.
Najin doesn't have any defense right now either, so that's going to go in favor of the Baron minions.
Yeah.
All they have to do is get a couple more auto attacks, and that's going to fall.
Well, Najin really wants to rush in and flank this.
Well, finally, CJ decided to put up some more flank wards. They have pink wards at both positions where Evelynn could flank. Duke has a ward way in the back. but he's going to be running for a very long time. He wants to make that teleport play, but you might as well try. Might as well try soon.
Well,
he's going to try now.
Get there quick with home guards. Oh, they're going to engage as well, too. 3-man Tibbers. Man, Pure is good. Space just cleanses out, moves out. There's the ultimate coming through. Watch trying to do as much damage as he can. Goon tries to get into the back lines, manages to kill Space, and Najin actually might be able to take this fight. Ambition in a lot of trouble, too. Double kill for OQ. Oh, boy. Space gets a kill himself, too, but Najin takes the fight off a triple kill from OQ. They are still alive. What a bloodbath. And that 3-man stun from Pure with that Tibbers. Beautiful, beautiful Annie play
I
today.
mean, that was a great flank from Duke, too. He just went for it, even though it was so far away. But the coordination that Najin had on that engage where Duke, even though he was coming from so far, was still able to get into that fight at the right time because Watch and Pure hit the first couple of AoE CC abilities.
Now, what can they get out of this? That's the question.
I mean, maybe an inhibitor.
Maybe. I don't think so. Well, maybe.
I mean, they can't win the game right now, which is unfortunate because they have to defend against the super minions, and pushing into the supers is quite difficult and time consuming.
They can get the inhibitor, though. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Goon just staying at home defending the Nexus turret, so they will get that mid inhibitor, and that'll take some of the pressure off. Wow. Nice little comeback from Najin there.
I mean, if you're CJ, you definitely think you're safe from that flank.
Oh, yeah.
You have a pink ward behind you. You know there are no pink wards in front of that one, and you have a pink ward on the side, too. There's no way you think that Maokai is going to get all over you, but Duke did a great job. And look at the engage, too. Space a little bit too far forward, and then great stun onto all the carries. And here comes Duke right onto Coco, forces the Zonias. The QSSO is already down, so Goong is able to get into the back line and get the death mark pop onto Space, and OQ just gets a bunch of free autos on the front line. That was very well coordinated engage by Najin. They've really come alive in this late game.
Najin wins this game, though. I want that MVP to go to Pure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
His Annie play has been so good this game. And this series, we thought it'd be close, but this is really close. What a bloodbath, too. Over 50 kills in this game. This is now our highest kill game of the season, actually. Our previous was 44.
Yeah, this is... I mean, these teams both love to fight, especially CJ. They usually have a lot of kills in their games. CJ and KT and Ku way up there in terms of kills in games.
55 kills at 47 minutes. It's my kind of game.
So GA now onto Space. Never again. Just got rid of his QSS. He doesn't even care anymore. So I got resist now.
It's like I've died 7 times this game. I'm tired of it.
Well, he just figures if he dies, maybe by the time he comes back up, there won't be any more crowd control to continuously lock him down.
Could be. Although that means more crowd control is going to be focused on Coco now.
Well, he's got Zonias, so he's okay.
Space. Oh, he's got Zonias too. Mad Life with the Frozen Heart.
Well, it's a very good item this game. Just go for armor. He got a very early Glacial Shroud. You can see Mad Life also has the Crucible, so they have the AGA and the Crucible now for Space. Wow, Shy has Luden's Echo. What?
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know about getting that before Void Staff. That is weird.
Or Rylai's.
Yeah.
I mean, you have more movement, but interesting. Well, Najin pushing down the mid lane. CJ on the defensive for the first time in a long time in this game.
If CJ loses this game, it's going to be ridiculous. Najin will be truly heroic for figuring out ways to get around GAs and Zonias and actually execute the necessary flanks to take out their backline against the massive amount of peel that CJ has.
Interestingly enough, Dragon and Baron coming up at nearly the same time. That could present a bit of an issue for Najin, since CJ has got 4 dragons right now.
Yeah, that's probably going to push it over the brink, honestly, because CJ will have no problem threatening both objectives at the same time with their poke, and the fact that Space can just sit there and auto the dragon by himself.
They need more wards in this bottom jungle, though. They're
also,
going to try this dragon.
Goong's GA is not up yet. That is a pretty big factor. It'll be up shortly, but I'm not sure it's going to be up. It's not going to be up in time for the start of the dragon, at least.
I mean, we're at the point in the game, too, where these objectives are just going to melt so fast. Are they going to, like, threaten to back door here, or front door, I guess, if they go for the dragon? NAJIN could just rush. They're going to. They're actually going to. They're just rushing the Nexus. Recall's coming in from CJ. They'll get back there in plenty of time. It's still kind of a matter of, are they going to...
Coco's not there. He's
yeah,
about 8 seconds behind.
He canceled his recall. Goong slowed down a bit. There we go.
It's a good call from CJ. The inhibitors are up on the enemy side of the map. Yours is still down. Ambition also is in a position where he could have flanked or he could have just gone straight back to the dragon.
Yep.
And they have wards on it, so doing okay.
Mad Life may be able to find an ult here. GA back up for Goong again. No. NAJIN needs this dragon. They need it.
Yeah, that's a great way to deny it, though. They're
Yeah.
using the strength of what they have right now. And here comes the fight. You could see that everybody's
Silver.
just
Teleport
they're
coming
at
in.
the choke.
CJ pulling back. This equalizer could be very, very good for CJ. There we go. Space and Coco with plenty of space to fight. Goong gets the kill onto Mad Life, but now CJ on the chase. OQ running a little bit. Gets poked very hard by Coco. Deathmark coming in onto Coco. Just zones it immediately. Goong in a lot of trouble. Space with the kill onto OQ. Goong. GA pops, but that is going to be a dead set. Double kill for Space.
And the setup was so good from
yeah.
CJ. You could see how they were just tightly kiting from that choke point,
They pulled the fight
daring
into that
them to go
choke.
through. And again, Shy hits a very good equalizer in that game to provide the necessary zone. Yeah, there's a lot of minion waves, but there are some long, long death timers.
Yeah, only Pure and Watch able to try to defend the Nexus, and it is not going to be enough. Watch coming in onto Ambition, tries to get the kill, but that's not going to help. Not going to do anything there. Pure has had a great game, but that is going to be about it. Coco trying to get the kill onto Pure here. Another stun. That is it. GG, and CJ wins a pretty nail-biting game one at 51 minutes. 57 kills in the game. 59 kills, actually. Our highest kill game so far this season.
You're crazy.
Awesome.
I'm actually impressed that NAJIN managed to just keep on fighting and keep on getting fights that were going their way,
Yeah.
even when CJ took some decent precautions.
14, 5, and 15 is the final score for Coco. Absolutely slaughtering on that Ezreal. Wow. Mad Life 3, 4, and 26. Ambition 8, 5, and 23. Some pretty insane score lines coming out of that one, but a win for CJ in the end, and we will see what happens in game number 2. So much to play for both of these teams in this best of 3.
There's Coach Sung giving some instructions
Yep.
after the match. Big Bang Space.
Big Bang Space. Okay.
Said Big Bang Space on his sign.
Well, maybe that was a clue. He was going to go for Graves, huh? Who knew? Really tough loss for NAJIN, but it's only one game. You can't let that shake you too much.
And Watch came up with some good coordinated ults with